women are not
Yes.
left on the marketplace.
So why are you single at 37?
Because it's a choice, and I'm.
Go back and watch that prior video for context. So let's talk about it. Men nowadays are beating us over the head with these arbitrary timelines, these fear tactics, these scarcity tactics to force us to see marriage as something that we're running out of time to get because we will not be wanted or desired after a certain age, right? Now, I'm a huge spiritualist, right? And so I study the law of attraction. And what I look for is alignment. And in most things, I'm looking for peace, elation, joy, prosperity, abundance. As a woman, we are conditioned to believe that we will get that joy, prosperity, and abundance through marriage, through having children, and other constructs that don't necessarily fit every woman, right? But we're taught these cookie cutter things. And if we don't actually acquiesce to this, then something is wrong with us. Now, check this out, right? Everybody that is aligning in marriage is actually looking for the same thing that I am honest with myself that I'm looking for: peace, joy, elation, prosperity, abundance, and love, and mirroring my best qualities. But everyone is still searching outside of themselves for those things, which is the reason why they keep coming up short. Like any woman, I spent my wheels looking for this in men, right? Now, one may say, oh, you didn't find the right guy, etc., etc. No, it wasn't a matter of me finding the right or the wrong guy. It was a matter of me finding the right version of me. Once I found the right version of me, once I tapped into the right version of me, no any marriage or any man will do, okay? And since these red pill men have opened their mouth and they can't seem to shut the fuck up, you start to realize that marriage is not something that they are doing to bring a woman joy or bliss. It is an arduous, task-oriented event whereby you get to be an indentured servant for the rest of your life with the promise of protection and provision. Many women realize this. And this is the reason why they are not running to the altar. Because at the end of the day, they know that they are searching for alignment. But it does not always come through a man. Sis, I'm going to do you one better. What if what we are experiencing is the Mandela effect and the remnants of it? It's a theory I'm workshopping. But seriously, when do you ever remember men being so gung-ho about marriage? Either this is absolutely a recent phenomenon, or they've been capping for the longest, or we in a whole different damn timeline. Period. We are not from this timeline. And I know I'm not misremembering, or this does not have to do with being somebody's preference or being chosen. Shut the fuck up. This is literally a phenomenon where the men want to be rescued and saved like Disney princesses, and the women are all like, get somebody else to do it. Like, straight up. Are thousands upon thousands of people just not from this timeline? And could that be the reason why we're having this conflict? You be the judge.
In your family, why don't you want a kid to give motherly love to?
Boy, if George Michael and Chris Brown had a baby. That's who we taking advice from now? Nah, but for real though, 40-year-old woman here. You know what makes y'all goofy? It's not the fact that you have an opinion. It's the fact that you online profiteers of Black family correction. Messages lack continuity. There is no consistency in your messaging. For example, many men will berate Black women for being single mothers, failing to realize that if you are tearing them down for being single mothers and saying that is what's wrong with the Black community, you are going to find more women who are going to soul search before they have children and choose not to have children. I know this sounds so crazy and you might not be able to believe this, but women are not a monolith. I know it's crazy, right? We do not all want the same things. We are not born on an assembly line. We are not carbon copy Stepford wives and clones of each other. We actually want different shit. So if a woman takes responsibility for her choices, knowing that she may be too selfish and or she may not be in the presence of mind to be nurturing or be in a marriage, and she chooses not to do any of those things, that's called taking accountability. And y'all always got your fucking boot down our throat talking about accountability. And then when you see it go in a way in which you don't want it to go, then you have an issue. The irony. You see, that's the problem. Your messages don't have continuity because your messages are actually manipulations. If we gather everything that we hear collectively from men on the internet, especially black men, what we are hearing is, you're moving on without us, and we're scared. We're scared you don't need us anymore. We're scared you don't even want us anymore. So before you dump us, we're going to dump you. You know, like when a person about to get fired from their job and then they say, I quit. Kind of like what the passport boys are doing. Y'all don't want us, so we going to say we don't want you. And then you got other messages like, well, why you don't want to be a wife? Why you don't want to have kids? Because I'm taking responsibility for my choices. I don't want to add to the problems anymore. I'm choosing better. And sometimes that means not choosing you and choosing myself. Wild, ain't it? So I too was a fatherless daughter, right? Of course, my mom remarried, but who are we fucking kidding, right? I had no male in the home that was actually constructive to my development, all right? But I'm definitely not walking this earth feeling jealous or inferior to women who did have a father, because I went through my therapeutic process, a process called reparenting yourself. This is where you take a father figure and you create the energetic equivalent of the physical experience of a father figure being around to sort of create the feeling internally of what type of father you would have wanted. This is why I don't walk around with jealousy or inferiority complex about not having a father around, especially when they try to act as if though your feelings towards men are solely predicated upon you not having a father around. Had you had a father around, you would be a different human being, or you would see things differently, and that has remained to be extremely untrue. So word to the wise, going through this healing process of reparenting yourself is an amazing process. I chose for my father archetype Obatala. Kind of funny how in some depictions of Obatala, he's depicted as a African man with albinism. And here's another depiction of him. He is actually a Yoruba Orisha, if any of you are familiar with that particular pantheon. Obatala is associated with honesty, purpose, purity, peace, forgiveness, resurrection. Okay? He's a Christ-like figure, very similar to Osiris in the Egyptian and or Kemetic pantheon. And he's like the old man, the patron saint of the Aruba Orishas in the Ifa pantheon, right? See, honey, you got to get out of that physical representation, comparativeness, and any form of anything that makes you feel inferior, because the walk that you walk is individual to you. The things that you learn and what you ascertain on your specific individual walk is for you, not to be compared with anyone else. And don't let a motherfucker out here make you feel inferior for what you had no control over.
I'm angry because there is so much more that is
Not me, brother. I'm in my apartment drinking cheap ass wine. But I ain't gonna hold you. This may not quell your anger, but I want you to consider something that I had to realize a long time ago. Because you see, I've been on this journey since the Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and George Floyd era. I've been in this shit before even Black Lives Matter was a thing. And I'm not saying that to make myself seem grandiose. I'm just saying I have seen the matriculation of our people with this social media activism and beyond, right? Even when we take it to the streets, right? Because it's not to say that social media activism has no validity. It is simply just to say that I've seen it be a psyops, if you will. See, what you are experiencing is the realization that you are coming across a lot of NPCs. I know that Red Pill and alt-right have pretty much hijacked this terminology, but it did not begin with them. And what you gotta realize, just like Erykah Badu said before she became Erykah Badu, the mothership cannot save a lot of these people. So they ass is gonna get left. You're surprised by the fact that Black women are out there on the front line risking their ass and other people are trying to make profit off of this tragedy? You're surprised that people are actually sitting around and pontificating on what they want out of Black women and throwing Black women under the bus? I'm not. Sounds real fucking NPC to me. And once you make peace with that, you will realize that you only need to build with those that have a like mind. All others are pretty much it's whatever. Peace be with you, brother. Hetep. So here's a question. Why don't you go to hell? Why don't you just go to hell? You could easily be on your own shit and make any kind of comments or statements that you want, but yet you choose to be on mine policing, tone policing, and trying to tell me what the fuck I need to say. I know that you failed high school algebra, so this might be hard for you and ain't never been to it step foot inside a college class, right? But it's mathematics. And in math, 1 + 1 = 2. Now, if you move your gigantic fucking ego out of the way, right, and use your brain, it might all come together for you. It's not brokenness, honey. It's numbers, and numbers are hard.